she desperately doesn't want her family to know. And if I cover it, there's a good chance they will find out.
Oh, 100%. Why do you think I haven't covered this at all? Like that's my principal issue.
Yeah, that's
here's the thing.
He's lying to Nick. This thing was coming out no matter what.
There are very justifiable reasons that I would give publicly as to why we didn't move forward with it that are comparable to reasons why I haven't discussed stuff in the past. I think my core audience, I think I'll get shit from weird communities.
Try to scare him.
If Pixie actually does self-harm in some way, and God forbid actually succeed in killing herself, now this switches from Steven did something that triggered this to I did something that
But he portrayed it as somebody who was grossed out but didn't know what to do and thought like we would lose all our connections to Destiny and be screwed. That's how he portrayed it.
Thankfully, Sunday saved us.
Yeah, Sunday saved us. Thank you, Sunday. He doesn't know that he's got 7-2 offsuit and it's lying face up on the fucking table.
All I'm getting from this is she's really not going to want this to be public.
it's both.
She wants to hurt Steven, but she doesn't want this to be known that she's done this, and this is her.
Cake and eat it too. Pick one.
Yeah.
And she desperately doesn't want her family to know. And if I cover it, there's a good chance they will find out.
Oh, 100%. Why do you think I haven't covered this at all? Like that's my principal issue.
Yeah, that's
here's the thing.
He's lying to Nick. This thing was coming out no matter what. Right now, he's lying to this thing was coming out no matter what.
Let's assume I was a psychopath, and I'm not. Okay? Somebody saying these things would be enough to deter me. Let's assume I was a psychopath. Let's assume I published this. Okay, well, something's changed.
And he did.
If Pixie actually does self-harm in some way, and God forbid actually succeed in killing herself, now this switches from Steven did something that triggered this to I did something that
This entire conversation, don't fool yourself, was not Nick DeOrio being absolutely outraged and paying penance to this fucking moron, President Sunday, as it was portrayed in that video, a lie that was portrayed in that video. If you listen to that thing, it is a standoff of a game of chicken. He's trying to get something out of him, and Nick's trying to figure out what he's going to do and try to probably keep his name, like by putting him right in the front or trying to figure out whether he's going to be framed as somebody who's complicit in this situation. Where Nick is probably the only good guy in this situation because he didn't come out because he didn't know the situation, whether he would get burned, whether if this girl was really suicidal, there was no way to tell. This guy, no, he put it right out there, boy. He doesn't give a shit. It was more important than Destiny. And he was like, oh my God, I don't care if this bitch herself. I care if it falls on me. And by the way, Destiny feels the same way. Destiny feels the same way. And that girl was probably baiting and trying to get him to pay her off. So much so that she didn't ask directly, because Destiny could have put that in his little statement right there, where all these other people around him, I wonder if they were getting cut in on it. He gives me $1 million, I'll give you fucking $10K. Okay, I'll get him, give it to you. Don't think that they're above this. All these fucking political sites, these holier than thou, walking around like they got a goddamn collar. They're all lowlife searching for clout and power. Every single one of them. Destiny is no different than President Sunday, not at all. It's just not sexual with Sunday because, well, look at him. Would you fuck him, ladies? Or would you rather fuck Destiny? Ask yourself that.
Yeah. That's not good. I don't want that. That's a bad situation to be in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I always get real nervous when Nick responds to me like that. But now, like, because it's like, are you letting him dig his own grave?
There is a catch to this, which is, if anything happens, God forbid, anything at all, and it doesn't even matter if it's because of this.
And by the way, this whole thing is being recorded. Nick doesn't know he's being recorded, but he recorded this guy every because he figured he was recording him. It's like I've been telling you guys that the whole shop at the point thing is to tell you that basically influencers at the time it was like the English commentary community guys are no good. It's across the board. This is the real place you go to find out the real deal, to find out that these guys that propose to be good people aren't. And what a lot of times happens is once I get to your YouTuber, you get apoplectic and then you leave my show. But it keeps happening. And by the way, this is like, my politics is apolitical. I think this is just could easily happen on the right than it did on the left. I don't think this is exclusive to the left. I really don't.
I'm sure it has.
It's people who want power. I had a conversation with Stardust and I was telling her this story about this former Marxist during the DDR or GDR, if you're speaking English, who used to snitch on the people in my ex-wife's neighborhood to get them in all sorts of trouble and stuff. And then, so she's an out-and-out communist. So when the wall fell, she wanted to get her power, and she couldn't get her power fixed anyway. So she joined NPD. This is what's left of the Nazi Party in Germany. Because they were authoritarian. They might not have been the same side, but now they were authoritarian. So she went over that way. This woman is allowed to breathe in this town. I won't say the name of to this day. I can't believe nobody bumped her off after the crazy times. Because if you go to the Stasi, you probably weren't like them, got them punished severely, imprisoned, or killed. And Germans didn't do that. They're not that animalistic, I guess. I would have.
Anything happens to Pixie in the foreseeable future.
It all drops.
Well, he will actually be destroyed then. That will be insurmountable. Not destroyed. He'll have his channel. He'll have his audience. But there will be no
politics.
The media company dream will not be a thing. So
that would be awful. That would be an awful situation.
Now there's a flip side to this. There's a flip side to this, which is that you and all the other commentary blokes are in sort of a prisoner's dilemma right now.
Are we?
Which is, if something does happen, one of you might be the first to say something. And if one of you is the first to say something, they might say they felt pressured to not say anything because of everybody else in the group, or people might wonder, like, why were you the only person to do it? You knew about this, da-da-da-da. And under those circumstances, it would be very, very, very difficult to explain in exactly the same way. And I'm wondering about this with people like Josiah as well. Like, the time span of these things is not always predictable. And it would be so easy for something to blow up, or for another victim to come forward. Or possibly new nudes to be leaked.
Are you following this? I'm not following any of this shit. I don't really get it. I don't.
Because that's something else too. This is one person. I would be shocked if this is the only person he leaked.
I would be extremely shocked if Piers Morgan doesn't host Destiny at least once every 4 months or 6 months from now on. I'm really wondering myself. I think he could beat this. I absolutely think he could beat this. And let me tell you something. If you get victimized by Destiny again, if you're a chick or a guy, I guess, I don't feel bad for you in the future either. Even less bad.
It depends, like, if this goes mainstream. If, like, let's say
Sky
News
isn't really mainstream.
or whatever covers it, then it's gonna be insane.
Oh, he's trying to manipulate Nick into going first. Okay, thanks, Lord Vega. You read that better than I did.
It's the guy.
He's a rat mother. Ugh.
The guy is literally
so like by saying that, the commentary guys. Oh,
well, he is he was like I talked to somebody. Well, fuck it, I talked to Beckett, and he said that he was legitimately convinced that we're all his whole crew is Destiny sleepers, and we do anything under any circumstances. He just convinced himself of that. He believes that balls to bones. He actually believed that. It just shows you he's not a really good judge of character, and he probably thinks. If I had to guess, he probably thinks everybody's this clout hungry and it's just like him.
Person.
Yeah, but I'm not even thinking of the news that we have. I'm thinking of other ones.
And again, what you really need is Melina, because Melina will concede how many fucking nudes she's seen. She's probably seen half the Twitch community's nudes, and she probably could testify that he sent this to other women.
Yeah, but the problem is Melina is selfish and stupid.
Except that she did.
So are you.
And you're not
already, and she wants to. She just needs the right incentive. or the right situation. I do think that Melina would come through again if this was already public, but there's no way to make it public without catastrophe.
You're cutting.
Another thing too, and I mentioned this to Nick the other day. Like Destiny, known for being this ladies' man and like wearing on his sleeve and telling all the weird stuff he's doing. Like, how uncool is that? Like, Lord Vega, you're known for being a ladies' man, but he never kisses and tells, and he carries himself so much fucking cooler. But he's like, like Destiny's like, I'm doing this weird shit, I'm doing that weird shit, and then you talk to Vega's like, yeah, I think I can get that shit. And that's like so much more masculine, so much more cooler than running around. I got laid. I slept with a girl.
Like you're talking about a guy who was a StarCraft pro. So
that's true. And yeah, so he's got to run around and tell everybody instead of just like be really fucking cool about it. You know, being a lady. There's nothing wrong with being a ladies' man. Nothing. Zero. Zip. Nothing. But it's just like there's a way to be it. There's a way to be a rock star. There's a way to be a celebrity. With Destiny's like, you know,
Cutting out a little bit there.
Basically, if this was
true, but Destiny ran through 99% of shit, which I'm sure is somewhat true. I'm sure the number's not literal, but you know, I bet 99% of it was. I bet 98% of it was consensual. I'm leaving that 1% just in case something happens in the next 24 hours.
I'm confident that she would say something. But again, that's we're back at the fucking problem again, right?
I'm not going to make this too cool. I think Vega may be a ladies' man, but I do not think he abuses women for a fucking minute.
It's just like we have to keep our mouths shut, or there could be a myriad of fucking negative things that happen. This is like,
what you could do.
There's one solution that works here, and 100 that could potentially blow up, or even potentially harm her. What?
You know what I think you should do? Because
Nick's talking about harming her. He's talking about himself.
Here's what you don't want to do. Okay, the way I see it, there's two outcomes here for you that aren't disastrous.
And see that this is he's trying to scare Nick.
Manipulation.
Yeah, he really is a scumbag.
By you, I mean a whole bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
The details, the details don't matter. All that matters is this.
Yes, someone tried using DeOrio's to make Destiny's story snowball. Oh, okay, a lot of people are,
okay, buddy.
Nick actually graduated. A lot of these people, like with the books behind, what is? Go look. What are his degrees? Did he graduate, or is he one of these guys that feigns it? It's definitely a faux intellectual here. What's his?
He's got those books, man.
He's got the books behind him. But does he have a degree in one of those? Does he have a degree? Does he have a bookmark in one of those books?
He's a political scientist, Tommy. I just made that up. I have no idea.
Communications degree.
Communications
degree. I'd love to know. I'd actually like to know what his education is.
A high level of power compared to these people.
Because he's such a try-hard wannabe.
There's the P word again. Power.
Yeah, power. He's a try-hard wannabe.
It's all about power.
He reminds me of this guy that Thunderfoot got in a fight with like 10 years ago, right? And he threatened him over Anita Sarkeesian. And then, unbeknownst to Thunderfoot, they found that this guy had done time for propositioning a 14 or 13-year-old when he had already been in jail and come out for it. And the whole time he was like shamelessly threatening Thunderfoot over his Anita Sarkeesian takes. And then finally, Sugarfoot? Yeah, no, Thunderfoot. And then there's a vibe about him being kind of small and squirrely and a similar voice.
Just easily exhausted all of those.
What you don't want.
He thinks he's smarter than Nick. It's so funny.
Is for one of several things to happen, like Pixie harming herself, coming out against Destiny prematurely, etc., etc.
Prematurely.
And for it to be the case that y'all knew.
This guy is going to drop a video in 24 hours of this conversation.
Because with a lot of people behind you, like I think your concurrents have been like almost commensurate with Destiny's for the last little bit. Like we're talking like 4K.
I'm not super concerned that they find out that I've known. This is a thing where it's like, there are very justifiable reasons that I would give publicly as to why we didn't move forward with it that are comparable to reasons why I haven't discussed stuff in the past. I think my core audience, I think I'll get shit from weird communities.
Try to scare him.
Unless she
I guess unless she kills herself. Aren't you afraid she's going to kill herself?
Go back like 5 seconds.
Yeah, hold on.
Go back 5 seconds.
Do 10. How about that?
Move forward with it that are comparable to reasons why I haven't discussed stuff in the past. I think my core audience, I think I'll get shit from weird communities.
Unless she kills herself.
Yeah, he's trying to threaten him. That's like you might kill yourself. Yeah. You don't want to be that confident.
Oh, it's your fault.
Yeah,
that blood is going to be on your hands. You better talk about it.
Yeah, so no, I think I'd do it. Yeah, and he thinks he's smarter than he thinks he can scare him. Can't. He's been doing this longer than you, and he's better at it. He's more talented, and he's smarter.
I think they would see that as me accelerating that process if I released it without her consent.
Oh, absolutely, and I would not advise you do that at all. I would not advise leaking any of this.
Yeah.
Hey, so put the video within 24 hours.
No, my position is that I need the victim's consent to move forward with some of this stuff, and I don't even have contact with her.
What would you advise?
What I would advise,
22K.
And you can even frame this as...
what would you advise? No talent, 22K, no moral having jerk off that's obsessed with Destiny because he's bigger than you. What's your advice?
Like a purely homosexual thing. This would be my advice, personally. This is what I would do in your position. Is I would make a very, very, very vague statement to the effect... You already did?
Somebody said Nick DGG's watching. I go, I don't know if they're gonna like what I have to say. So I would stand. I kind of feel a little bad for that, but whatever. I kind of
Well, I would make something a little bit more
make a vague statement. No, make it bigger.
and something simple to this effect. You don't have to do this, of course. Like I'm just saying, like in my mind, this is what would screen you as like, okay, Nick's okay.
What a lying sack of shit. Well, this is something. I'm floating the idea of playing the clip from the call the other night. How would you feel about that? My immediate thought is how suspiciously judges to ask how I feel, like I have a right to refuse. Oh, the light's dawning. Almost makes me think you're warning to me or something. What clip for that? What purpose? I just think we'd be even. I think it would be fair to play about 5 to 7 minutes after, and not including. You read the redacted Pixie DM, so he portrayed it almost like he's getting in front of it, which wasn't true. He wasn't doing it because he didn't talk to Pixie, but he portrayed it as somebody who was grossed out but didn't know what to do and thought like we would lose all our connections to Destiny and be screwed. That's how he portrayed it.
Thankfully, Sunday saved us.
Yeah, Sunday saved us. Thank you, Sunday.
Our
Thank you, Sunday. And you know what? You're kind of too, because the only people that could take you seriously are other left-wing kooks. The only ones, the ones that couldn't get the nuance of this shit and how you are. I think we'd be even 5 to 7 minutes. He's so outmatched. It's funny. I want people to know that I was misled about you caring about her well-being. What makes you think you were misled? The tape. But I want to do that after my cudges as not to distract from the principled issue. Oh, for the record, I never said anything I don't believe. Is that it right there?
Oh, yeah.
I think so. Hold on, so I'll make sure. Okay.
Yes,
go. Here we go. Yeah, Destiny responded. Yeah, can I make a suggestion? Sorry, I'm reading at the moment. Given that I'm giving you a clear statement explaining my reasoning and that my opinion changed, it would be a mistake to try to cast me as simply being callous. Oh, would be a mistake, would it? When everyone in your circle has either actively disparaged victims, I guess is he talking about me? Because they can't touch me. I'm not in that lane. Or kept silent. How could you go forward? So he's such a liar. He says like, oh yeah, Nick, I totally understand why you didn't, because you haven't talked to Pixie yet, or you don't know what happened. But now it's kept silent. When all you knew to a certainty the Destiny leaked pornographic footage of an unwell, vulnerable people for power and influence without consent is a threat. I would just stick to the facts. Listen to him, talk to him. He doesn't know that he has. He doesn't know that he's got 7-2 offsuit and it's lying face up on the fucking table. It's so funny.
The thing is, like, he keeps shooting himself in the foot repeatedly.
He thinks he's smarter than everybody because mommy told him so. And he doesn't have he can't figure out why everybody else that he's smarter than are so much more successful.
His mommy bought him a book.
He bought him back and said, "You're really smart. You're the smartest guy in the whole world." Meanwhile, you're ugly, untalented, and probably not as smart as and they probably had to perfect your little voice if it's not being affected like Mr. Pirate Software there. If you disagree with my judgment, that's fine. But I've made my judgment. To accuse me of being misleading, you would be deceptive. All you gotta do is play the tape, stupid. It's a checkable lie. You lied.
You say nothing.
You know. You can read this out directly if you like. Don't worry. I didn't guarantee that was going to happen. In fact, I encourage you to. So he thinks he's got him. They'll never do this. That's the only reason people talk like that. I'm not saying anything else going forward. I've done everything I think I can do. Well, Mr. Sunday, I really don't have an issue with my contact or my friend's contact thus far. The internet doesn't really appear to either. Because remember, at this point, everything's out. I appreciate you shedding light on some of your new epiphanies, but that you've had. But from where I'm sitting, you've lied to me consistently for the last 5 days. You used me to get more eyes on the story. If you'd like me to read a message, these messages, after I play a few more minutes of the calls, I'm happy to. It's signifying? It's signifying more charitable spot than you left me when I was forced to scramble to explain why I was in your video. Remember, he thought it was a phone call initially. My own friends thought and agreed that the conversation was on record at the time. We agreed the conversation was on record at the time of the recording, and I had to explain to them that it wasn't. And yeah, he does. He betrays it. Nick came to me to help me with this mission I had. That's not true. He's a liar. I've seen lefties do this. They're really evil. I have no idea what this means. That's you.
Oh, you're so stupid.
You have every idea what this means.